I am joined right now by John Skyler, one of the six competitors that will be in action at Bound for Glory October 23rd in Las Vegas. Uh, a new title, a chance to not only make history, but a chance to elevate your own status in Impact Wrestling. We'll get into that, your career to this point. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, man. I'm just excited to, man. I wish Bound for Glory was today, but we still have to wait a few more days, right? It'll be this Saturday. I'm looking forward to making the trip out to Vegas and walking into Bound for Glory, Countdown for Glory, with a lot of excitement, and then leaving as the first digital media champion.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It feels like, it should be here. We still have to wait about another week, but that's a good thing. The excitement's there up and down the card. You have a ton of matchups that present a lot of different challenges, potential future implications. We've been told there's surprises to expect, but getting to the match at hand that you're in, the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Championship was just introduced. The pieces are starting to fall in place. You're one of the six competitors in the match. It's really cool because it's not just a television championship. It's an intergender championship. The matchup itself, the people that we know in the match, there's some cool possibilities there. How you feeling going into it now that some of your competitors? You don't even know the whole match, but by the time we get to Bound for Glory, you'll know who you're going to be facing off with.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky to kind of prepare for it, right? Because we don't know the last two competitors yet, and the four that have been announced, including myself, range in such a unique dichotomy of contenders. You've got Falaba, Crazy Steve, and Jordan Grace, who all bring something vastly different to the table. So it's a little hard to prepare for a match like this. It's hard to prepare for six ways when you know all the competitors. Because it's a match where you very much have to keep your head on a swivel and anything can kind of happen. But for this new championship, the Digital Media Championship, I think it's so cool because, like you said, it's not just a television title, it's not just an intergender title. But D'Lo Brown kind of said it best when he said it's a new version of the TV title. And growing up as a huge wrestling fan, the television championship was always one of my favorite titles to see defended because you saw it defended pretty much every week. And it was guys like Arn Anderson, like, God bless him, Bob, beautiful Bobby Eaton and Tully Blanchard. And even later on, people like Fit Finley and Steve Regal and Chris Jericho. These were guys that I all tried to pattern myself after. I was huge fans of all of them, and they were all television champions. So now we have the chance to kind of recreate that magic in today's era where social media, digital media is such a big part of our industry. A lot of people only watch wrestling on social media now. So to know that we have the chance to create something new, something different, innovative, brand new championship, never been done before, and to have the opportunity to fight to be the first ever digital media champion is big because anytime you can do or be the first of anything in wrestling, your name goes in the history books automatically. So I'm thoroughly excited. I'm excited about the possibilities. I'm excited to, experience what the digital media title is going to be and what the division is going to be like. Because again, so many eyes are going to be on not just Bound for Glory, not on Countdown for Glory, but going forward on digital media. If you're the digital media champion, you're going to have more wrestling fans as eyes maybe than anybody else on the show because you're going to be on BTI, you're going to be on Impact Wrestling, you're going to be on the Impact Plus specials, the pay-per-views, the pre-shows, and then you're going to be across every digital media, social media platform that there is. So who wouldn't want that opportunity, not only to be the first digital media champion, but to have those eyes on them as the champion? I mean, I've got goosebumps talking about it. So I'm looking forward to making my name be known this Saturday and putting my name in the history books as well as the first digital media champion.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of takeaways of from introducing a title like this, but the one maybe people aren't thinking about as much is how you just mentioned it can be it can be defended anywhere. Like, this isn't a traditional TV title where, oh, it's only going to be defended on a certain show. Like, the digital media aspect allows it to be defended on any one of Impact's shows. Or you think bigger picture, like, it could possibly be a traveling title or like a world title in that respect, where you don't know where it's going to be defended until the match is made. And I think that creates another aspect of excitement going into it.
Absolutely. And for a guy like me, I came to Impact Wrestling because I wanted the opportunity to show what I can do as a wrestler. I love going to the ring every night, just and leaving the ring drenched in sweat, exhausted, knowing that I just wrestled a match. And the digital media champion, from the sound of it, is going to have their work cut out for them in terms of a workload, in terms of a schedule. They're probably going to be defending their title more than any other title on the roster. I'm sorry, any other title in the company, not on the roster. Mm-hmm. But like the television champion of days, gone by, they had the hardest workload, the hardest schedule. They were defending the title every week on television. I'm looking forward to that challenge, because that's why I came to Impact Wrestling, was to break the perception of who I am and who I've been for the last 13 years. I want to show the world what kind of wrestler John Skyler is. And I think I've done that already, but I think winning the Digital Media Championship will just move me up even higher in the status of the Impact locker room. And it's a challenge that I'm ready for, 100% ready for.
Yeah, and I think, you just also pointed out something that maybe people haven't caught on to yet, but you are 13 years in the business, finally getting this opportunity. And one thing I'll mention, earlier this year, you talked to one of our writers, Dominic D'Angelo, about making that comeback. You suffered an in-ring injury. You tore your ACL, MCL, PCL. On the way back, had a lot of people vouching for you, saying this was going to be your breakout year. Two of the guys I will mention specifically were John Silver, Cash Wheeler of FTR, said this is going to be your year. Do you feel like Bound for Glory is that platform to do that? Do you look at it as like a singular event, or do you look at it as just, being in Impact Wrestling is, the platform to sort of get to that next level?
First of all, I couldn't have performed on Bound for Glory this Saturday had it not been signing that deal with Impact Wrestling. Again, seeing guys like Christian Cage come to Impact Wrestling makes me, it reassures me that I made the right decision in coming to Impact Wrestling to begin with, because, again, there's going to be more eyes on Impact Wrestling this Saturday than there has been in a while. And I'm just thrilled to be a part of that. But, the knee injury sucked. I tore my ACL, my MCL, my PCL. I had it fixed. Injuries happen. I knew that going when I signed up for pro wrestling in 2008. For me, what this Saturday means is it's validation, because for the last 13 years, I had people vouching for me. I've got my friends, but I'm the guy that put in the work, and I'm the guy that came back from that knee injury, and I'm the guy that signed his deal with Impact Wrestling on my mom's birthday this year. And people that said, that this was going to be my breakout year, yeah, they were right. This has been a breakout year for me, but it's not, 2021 might be the breakout year, but it's not going to be, it's going to pale in comparison to 2022, 2023, 2024, so on and so forth, because those are going to be the years where people are going to know my name worldwide, and I'm going to make the most money I've ever made in pro wrestling. I'm going to win more championships than I've ever won in pro wrestling, and it all starts this Saturday. I said this in a prior interview too. 6 years ago, I was in the dart match of Bound for Glory in a tryout, and I was told no. For 13 years, I've been told no pretty much by every major wrestling company. And I could have easily packed it up, quit, and gone back to teaching students, because that's what I got a college education in doing. But I chose to stay the course when I didn't have any money, when I was injured, when I was alone, when I was sick, whatever. I decided to stay the course, and I'm glad I did, because now I'm turning those no's into yeses. And this Saturday, Bound for Glory, at Countdown, on Countdown to Glory, I'm turning another no into another yes. So winning the Digital Media Championship is instant validation for me in everything I've done, all the countries I've been to, all the matches I've had, all the no's. This is all validation for me this Saturday when I win the Digital Media Championship.
How are you looking at the question marks in the match? And that's in the form of the opponents you don't know. It was just announced that we're going to have 2 women's matches, 2 knockouts matches. It's not an X Division match. It's not a women's match. It's not any kind of specific match. Are you game planning any differently for the variables that, not knowing your opponent until then present?
It's like I said earlier, it's very difficult to prepare when you don't know who the last 2 people are, but it's also very difficult to prepare for these type of matches anyways, because the 6-ways, the scrambles, multi-person matches can be very unpredictable. Anybody can literally win at any time. Now, in terms of the knockouts are some of the best athletes in the world. And am I preparing for them like I would prepare for? Am I preparing differently for them than I am anybody else? No. At the end of the day, John Skyler is a wrestler that's built on fundamentals. He's a thinking man's wrestler. So I'm going to sit back because, the lights are going to be on bright. There's going to be a lot of eyes on Bound for Glory and Countdown to Glory this Saturday. But I'm not going to let that rattle me because I've been all over the world. I've got experience, and I'm very confident in who I am and what I can do and what I'm capable of. So I'm going to sit back. I'm going to let everybody else have the nerves, the butterflies. I'm going to let them make the mistakes, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to capitalize because that's what I do. I'm not an idiot. Like I said, I'm a college-educated man. I went to school and got a degree. I used to teach school, and this is going to be no different this Saturday. I'm going to teach all 5 of the people that are in the digital media finals. I'm going to teach them a lesson. And that's, sometimes rushing right in isn't the best game plan.
You have yourself, Crazy Steve, followed by Jordan Grace already in the match. We're going to find out if it's Chelsea Green, Madison Rain, or perhaps Alicia Edwards or Tenille Dashwood. We'll find that out soon enough. While we wait for that, while we wait for Bound for Glory, is there a match that you would point to that maybe you think best represents your work in recent months or overall? Just really, if and you kind of mentioned you worked a dark match for Impact Wrestling, so maybe people are just starting to tune into your work if they haven't followed you, on the independent scene. I know you have worked in the Carolinas a lot. Is there a match that you would point to that maybe you think best represents your work to this point and what people might be able to expect at Bound for Glory?
I think a lot of the Impact Wrestling fans have got a taste of exactly what I'm capable of recently in my matches with Laredo Kid. I think a lot of those matches will be the matches when we look back at the career of John Skyler in Impact Wrestling maybe 10 years from now. Those are going to be the matches that I think people look at and go, those are the ones that put him on the map here. Because they've been, it's a unique dichotomy in wrestling styles. I'm very much based in the southern, rough around the edges, dirty wrestling. And, Laredo Kid, the exact opposite, a high flyer, well-versed in lucha libre. So that, match on paper, but when you let us go out there, give us 15 minutes, you can see where the contrast of styles really make for the best wrestling matches. And I think a lot of the people that have tuned into Impact Wrestling recently could look at any one of those 3 or 4 matches that we had. And I would say that a lot of those best represent my work and what I've done for the last 13 years. But if we were to look outside Impact Wrestling, I mean, take your pick. I've been all over the world, not just the Carolinas. Yeah, I was based out of the Carolinas for a long time, and I'm very proud of being from the Carolinas. And I'm excited about the other talent that have come out of the Carolinas have been very successful. But, I traveled, I did over 6 or 7 tours of the UK and Europe, and I went to Asia, and I've been to Canada. I've been all over North America. I've been over to over a dozen countries. So, I mean, really, all people have to do is, Google my name, YouTube my name, do whatever, because, they can really take their pick. I mean, I've gotten to wrestle some of the best wrestlers in the world, literally in the world. And I've got to wrestle a lot of my heroes. I hate that I'm rambling on, but I really can't pinpoint one match that represents my work, because I feel like to appreciate what I can do and to appreciate my work and my ability, you have to kind of tune into everything and watch everything and watch my career and its path and its growth to really appreciate where I've been, what I'm doing now, and most importantly, where I'm going.
Yeah, there's no right answer. That's always the fun of doing this, is sort of a watch list. But I'll mention really quick. BTI, you faced Jake something, and then you mentioned Laredo Kid. That singles match is also available on BTI. I mentioned the Carolinas because I've seen you at WrestleCade, and I know you've worked for PWX a lot, so that's why that stood out. But yeah, go ahead, check out YouTube, check out, that's what the beauty of social media is now. That's the positive side of it. You can find all this content. But right now, looking forward to Bound for Glory, seeing who walks away as the first Impact Wrestling digital media champion. I might have just talked to the guy that's doing it. John Skyler, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me. And you might not have just talked to the future Impact Wrestling digital media champion. You did talk to the future and first Impact Wrestling digital media champion. I can guarantee it.